Shalom and good afternoon. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Nico Slobinsky. I'm the director of the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs, also known as CIJA. We are a non-partisan organization, and we advocate on behalf of the Jewish Federation of Greater Vancouver. We are partners with Jewish federations across the country and represent more than 150,000 Jewish Canadians from coast to coast to coast. I am here today to speak about three general areas where we see an opportunity to work with the Vancouver Police Department to enhance public safety. 1, countering anti-Semitism. 2, continued cooperation with the Jewish community. And 3, constraining hate propaganda and incitement. Before I get to those points, I want to share a bit about myself and my reflections on why we have to remain ever vigilant against these threats to the Jewish community and, in fact, to the entire community of Vancouver. You can sense my accent, right? I was not born here. I was born in Argentina. Seared in my memory is the bombing of the AMIA Jewish Community Center in my hometown of Buenos Aires in 1994. I will never forget that terror attack by jihadists connected to Hezbollah and the Iranian regime. My own father spent hours at the scene, along with countless others, searching through the rubble for survivors. 85 lives were taken that day. More than 300 individuals were injured. I lost 2 of my very close friends. Families were shattered. The Argentinian Jewish community, the 6th largest in the world, was changed forever. CIJA and the Jewish Federation of Greater Vancouver are grateful to the BPD members, from the front lines to the chief, for their hard work and diligence. We are especially grateful to the BPD member, Terry Young, who volunteers his time and expertise with the Jewish Federation Community Security Committee. The efforts of all BPD members ensure that the Jewish residents of Vancouver can be fully engaged in our community and in broader society without fear for our security. We see that security under assault across the world almost on a daily basis. There is a distressing rise in anti-Semitism globally. In fact, the past year saw the highest number of Jews murdered in anti-Semitic attacks in decades. Like our community, you are painfully familiar with the fatal mass shootings at synagogues in Pittsburgh and San Diego County. Both of these atrocities were committed by white supremacists steeped in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. We have witnessed jihadist terror attacks on sites across Europe and around the world simply because they are places where Jews live their lives. At a Copenhagen synagogue, at a Jewish museum in Brussels, at a kosher grocery store in Paris, at a Jewish elementary school in Toulouse, and at a Jewish community center in Mumbai. On a global stage, Canada is comparatively safe, but we are not immune to these nasty global trends. In 2017, police reported hate crimes targeting Jewish Canadians rose by 60% in a single year, according to Statistics Canada. An anti-Semitic hate crime takes place once every 24 hours in Canada. Let that number sink in for a moment. CIJA's own public opinion research demonstrates that anti-Semitism is alive and well in our country. While the vast majority of Canadians reject anti-Semitism, a substantial minority, roughly 1 in 4, agree with various anti-Semitic stereotypes. These virulent stereotypes include allegations that Jews control the banks, the economy, politics, and the media, to name a few. There is a strange and false notion that Jews are more loyal to Israel than to Canada, and many other harmful and hateful tropes. The lesson history has taught all of humanity, and perhaps one that Jews remember the most, is that hatred and intolerance that starts with Jews never ends with Jews. Those who promote anti-Semitism ultimately pose a threat to society as a whole and to democracy itself. Now more than ever, we must be vigilant in pushing back, in fighting against these trends. As I noted earlier, there are 3 general areas where we at CIJA and the Vancouver Jewish Federation believe there's an opportunity to work together to enhance public safety. Countering anti-Semitism, continued cooperation between the BPD and the Jewish community, and curbing hate propaganda and incitement. First, to counter anti-Semitism, we as a society must consistently and accurately identify it. In 2016, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance published what has now become the world's most widely accepted definition of anti-Semitism. These documents, copies of which were distributed to you earlier today, is a working definition. You will find it in your blue folders. It brings together a list of illustrative examples of modern-day anti-Semitism. Rather than a legally binding document, it is a practical tool that law enforcement can use in identifying what does and what does not constitute hatred of Jews. Countless governments around the world, including the government of Canada, have adopted this definition. So too have municipal governments, including the City of London in England. And so too have police, such as the Miami-Dade County Chiefs of Police Association. CIJA is asking for all relevant departments and agencies at all three levels of government in Canada to adopt and make use of this definition in fulfilling their respective mandates. As a community, we strongly encourage the BPD board to formally adopt this working definition and ask relevant units within the BPD to make use of it as a tool to ensure that the BPD can identify anti-Semitism as it occurs. The second area I want to speak about concerns the collaborative working relationship between the Jewish community and the BPD. This relationship is crucial in the face of the growing global anti-Semitism I just outlined. Without question, the North American Jewish community feels more vulnerable than it has in generations. This is a direct result of the Pittsburgh and San Diego County synagogue attacks, and also of the bomb threats received by this community center about a year and so ago. You all witnessed the security guards standing outside as you walked in today. No other community center in this city has that level of security. An unease and awareness of risk has long existed. While it will come as no surprise to you, most Canadians would be shocked to learn that it has long been routine for many synagogues to hire paid duty police officers during the high holidays. CIJA and our Federation partners are currently exploring additional measures and public policy options to enhance security at Jewish institutions year-round. However, the challenge is not only to ensure that such measures are effective and aligned with the security environment. The challenge is actually to foster a climate within our own community of healthy vigilance in which our grassroots recognize security as a collective responsibility. Our community is safer when community members have the tools they need to mitigate threats. In this regard, the Vancouver Police Department and other police agencies have consistently been phenomenal partners. Incident response is only one aspect of this. BPD and other agencies have been responsive in many ways. Through increased visibility outside Jewish, we strongly encourage the board to support and further invest in these efforts, to the extent that it is possible for our community and other communities at risk in the city. The third and final area I want to address concerns the challenge of hate propaganda and incitement as defined in the criminal code. Advances in technology have permanently changed this landscape. Consider this. The heinous attack on the mosque in Christchurch, New Zealand, was watched by roughly 200 people online when it was live streamed. Within 24 hours, this video more than 1.5 million times. Let that number also sink in for a moment. The Pittsburgh synagogue attacker, in the 9 months prior to his atrocity, the San Diego County synagogue shooter allegedly admitted he was inspired by both of these previous attackers. The lesson is crystal clear. Online hate and incitement leads to virtually anyone today, including those vulnerable to radicalization, has access to an entire world of extremism and conspiracy theories through their smartphones. CIJA has been calling for a national strategy to address online hate led by the Government of Canada in concert with social media providers. In communities across the country, local law enforcement play a crucial role to disseminate hate propaganda online. I encourage the BPD to continue its work and redouble its efforts to monitor and tackle extremism and radicalization, especially online. What starts with vicious words can lead to violent actions. Our community is deeply grateful for all the work that you, your officers, the board, and your support staff undertake every day to keep us safe. We know the risk your officers face on a daily basis protecting the people of Vancouver and the stress and families. So in addition to welcoming any questions as they may come, let me conclude by saying, Toda Rabba, thank you.